we gonna cut all this short, homie.
Okay.
They've been playing all them games for the longest. It's hiding and ducking. The agent testified that Demetrius Flannery was aware of the deal, and that Demetrius had one request, and that his name does not appear in any documents. This was Special Agent Keith Cromer's testimony. CS1 testified, Tammy Collins, that Demetrius Flannery was aware. She signed to be a government informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut. She had the courtroom clear it out. If you go on Pacer, pull my docket sheet, you'll see where CS1 requested that the courtroom be closed.
So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up? When Vizzo don't show up? And all these don't show up?
I wasn't gonna address this.
Man, this reading drops, man. Look at you reading this.
Big Meech really thought linking up with Rick Ross was his golden ticket back to power. But turns out he walked straight into betrayal. Loyalty in this industry, it's a fantasy dressed as friendship. Meech turned his back on 50 Cent, betting on Rose's promises, and now he's fresh out of prison with nothing but snakes around him. At first, Ross was all love, flashing smiles, calling Meech family, talking about rebuilding his empire together. He even promised to get him back on top, said he'd make the streets remember who started it all. But as soon as that plan fell apart and the money didn't move how it was supposed to, Ross switched up fast. Suddenly he was ghost, and next thing you know, he's cozying back up to his old rival, 50 Cent, like nothing ever happened. So what really made Rick Ross flip on Big Meech? Was it business, ego, or was 50 quietly pulling the strings from the shadows? Because the way this whole thing played out, it feels too slick to be coincidence. Meech came out expecting a comeback, a victory lap after years locked down, but instead he's walking straight into chaos. He's realizing that the same industry he helped build doesn't owe him a thing. The man he turned on, 50 Cent, is still cashing out off the BMF story, while Ross is acting like he never even knew him. Talk about cold-blooded. This ain't just a fallout. It's a full-blown betrayal, and the streets are watching every move. But here's the wild part. Even though Rick Ross played the snake, whispering in Meech's ear and trying to stir up tension between him and 50 Cent, he might have actually done 50 the biggest favor ever. Because let's be real, if Meech could turn on 50 that quick, after everything 50 did to keep his name alive with the BMF show, then maybe he was a ticking time bomb waiting to expose himself all along. Now, the talk on the streets is that Meech is panicking, trying to figure out why his so-called legacy concert flopped so bad. Nobody's pulling up, no one's offering help, and the only person left to blame? The same man who hyped him up, then vanished when things got ugly, Rick Ross. If you really look at it, Meech was just a pawn in Ross's power game. Rosie never cared about rebuilding his legacy. He wanted to embarrass 50 Cent and hijack the BMF name for himself. But the second things got messy, Ross disappeared faster than a deal gone bad, leaving Meech standing alone with egg on his face. Now, Meech is out here playing the victim, but deep down, he knows he played himself. And if there's one thing the streets don't respect, it's a man who switches sides for a little fame or cash. So how deep does this betrayal really go? Is 50 sitting back?
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Watching it all unfold with that signature grin, knowing he didn't even have to lift a finger to expose the fake love. Word is, 50 might have even pulled some quiet strings to get Meech's Welcome Back concert shut down. But honestly, he didn't have to. The snitching whispers were already floating. The energy felt desperate, not legendary. And 50 knows exactly when to sit back and let his enemies self-destruct. Just 2 hours before Big Meech was supposed to hit the stage, boom, the Ameris Bank Arena pulled the plug out of nowhere. No heads up, no warning, just a cold statement. Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled, refunds available at point of purchase. Straight humiliation for Meech, man. The streets were buzzing, fans were furious, and the silence from his team made it all look even worse. And guess who was chilling, watching it all fall apart like he'd already read the script? 50 Cent. Way before the concert was even announced, 50 had already told people it would never happen. And when he turned out to be right, he couldn't resist clowning the whole situation. He hopped on Instagram and posted that canceled flyer like it was a trophy. His caption, pure 50 energy, slick, shady, and savage all at once. I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am. If you believe that, he joked, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. Oh, that's 50's way of denying without denying. Always 2 steps ahead, always in control. Then he doubled down with another post. Fake sympathy mode activated. If you bought an outfit and was ready to turn up, I apologize for whoever's responsible. Let's get to that. Come on now, that's villain behavior at its finest. And the icing on the cake, when a fan straight up accused him of being behind the shutdown, 50 didn't even flinch. He reposted the comment with another jab. I apologize for your trip to Miami, but been playing with me. Cold, just cold. So you know, let's build when y'all get back to the city. That's the line that set it all off. 50 moving like a chess master while everyone else is still stuck rolling dice. Big Meech is scrambling for answers, but truth be told, he's got no one to blame but himself. Rick Ross set him up, 50 stepped back, and now Meech is standing alone. No concert, no real friends, and no one to clean up the fallout. At this point, Meech is out but empty-handed. The empire he once ran is dust, and 50. He's done playing savior. No more backing, no more loyalty, no more favors for the Meech family. And to make it worse, the only real earner left, Lil Meech, just took a major hit. Lil Meech tried to play the loyalty card with 50 to keep the concert alive, but it backfired hard. Season 4 of BMF canceled. And 50 made sure the world knew why. He went online and dropped private text messages from Lil Meech, and the internet ate it up. In those texts, Lil Meech poured his heart out, saying he'd give 50 the shirt off his back, while still defending his dad's connection to Rick Ross. But the twist? He admitted that Ross had been paying Big Meech's bills until the next BMF season kicked in. That's crazy! He even wrote, they just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram and now you managing Skill Abba with Rocket.
We 2 days away from the Big Meech concert. Get your tickets right now. Make sure everybody flying to the city for this. It's gonna be huge.
When I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was, now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you? That's not loyalty, that's desperation showing in real time. I can't believe this man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only ever shown you love and loyalty. That's what Lil Meech wrote to 50, trying to pour his heart out while still defending Rick Ross. He even admitted, I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you, F. Ross. But he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. Wild, right? Big Meech not only linked up with 50's biggest rival, now he's depending on that same man to keep his lights on. Rick Ross is clearly playing puppet master in the shadows, using money to buy control while quietly driving a wedge between father and son. He's got Big Meech in debt and Lil Meech caught in the middle, trying to hold loyalty on both ends, and it's crumbling fast. Even the game jumped in on the drama, calling out Lil Meech for not riding harder for his dad. He said, just seen a text from Lil Meech to 50 that got me dying. Hey, Lil Meech, you were supposed to be like, F you, this BMF, and I'm standing with my pops. Me and Fifth got our own issues, but that ish on pause while I post this. Then 50 clapped back with pure comedy. What's your little a gun do? He had folks spitting out their drinks laughing. But underneath the jokes, it's clear. Big Meech let himself get played. The man once feared in the streets is now looking like a pawn in his own legacy, while Rick Ross tugs the strings and 50 Cent just sits back smirking, watching his enemies burn each other out without ever lifting a finger. The BMF legacy is falling apart piece by piece, and 50 Cent's just sitting back, letting the chaos play out like a movie he already directed. Everyone saw that concert flop coming from miles away. everyone except the Meeches. Lil Meech, the one person expected to protect the family name, is now flipping on the man who gave him everything, the career, the spotlight, the platform, while his father was locked up. Instead of standing tall, he's tangled himself in a mess that could have been avoided from the jump. And 50, he's done being quiet. He's now firing straight shots at Big Meech's parenting, putting him on blast for how he handled his son's future. A resurfaced clip recently showed Lil Meech with Rick Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts, footage from years back. And it instantly reignited the drama. 50 wasted no time chiming in, questioning why Ross, who's now suddenly playing ally to Big Meech, never helped Lil Meech when it actually mattered. 50 reminded everyone that it wasn't Ross or Meech's crew who invested in Lil Meech's dreams. It was him. He's the one who paid for acting school, opened industry doors, and turned Lil Meech into a TV star. Then he dropped the line that had the internet buzzing, saying Meech came home acting like the Black Pablo Escobar instead of a father trying to secure his son's future. At this point, this isn't just rap beef, it's straight up betrayal. Big Meech had 50's backing and he threw it away for temporary loyalty and empty promises.
I can't believe a stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat.
Now he's more isolated than ever, and 50's making it known he doesn't forgive or forget. With Rick Ross in the mix, this feud just got darker, louder, and way more personal. Their feud goes way back, all the way to 2008, built on diss tracks, lawsuits, and one brutal court loss that cost 50 a cool $7 million. Rick Ross took another jab just last year, calling 50 broke. But anyone who knows 50 Cent knows he never lets anything slide, and neither does his old bodyguard Gene Deal, who's been backing 50's side since day one. But this time, the drama's deeper than ego. It's business. Word is, this might be the final season of BMF, tied to 50's massive $150 million Stars deal. Walking away from that kind of bag would break most people, but not 50. He's a strategist. If he built it once, he'll build it again, because once you cross him, there's no second chances. And this is where things start getting real shady. Those snitching whispers about Big Meech, they didn't come from nowhere. Rumors about him cutting a quiet deal with the feds have been floating long before 50 ever spoke on it. At the center of it all, a woman named Tammy Cowens. Meech once called her a close friend, but on paper, she's a known federal informant. Allegedly, Tammy helped Meech broker a deal that shaved years off his sentence. But let's be real, nobody walks out of a federal bid early without giving something big in return. And what Meech gave up might have been his own man, Dion Gatling, aka Cuffy. They'd been tight for years, running business together before Meech's arrest. But according to Cuffy's daughter, Tamara Gatling, their family was blindsided when they realized who set him up. They started connecting the dots, digging through paperwork, and one name just kept popping up in the confidential files: Big Meech. To make it worse, Meech allegedly tried to smooth things over by introducing Cuffy to none other than Tammy Cowens, the same woman who might have helped him strike his own deal with the feds. This story just keeps twisting, and every new piece makes Meech look less like a boss and more like a man trying to cover his tracks. Tammy Cowens wasn't just some random friend. She was Big Meech's power of attorney. She literally controlled the rights to his entire life story at the time. So when Cuffy, trusting his old friend Meech, stepped into what he thought was a real business opportunity, he had no idea he was walking straight into a setup. Soon after, he was behind bars. And when the discovery documents came out, it all clicked. CS1, the confidential informant listed in the files, turned out to be none other than Tammy Cowens. But everyone who knew the game understood Tammy wasn't making moves without Meech's green light. When the Gatling family pressed Meech about it, he brushed them off, saying it was all a misunderstanding. But the more they investigated, the more things started lining up. Tammy might have been the one wearing the wire, but there's no way she was working behind Meech's back. In the end, Cuffy took the fall while Meech walked free, proving that all that talk about brotherhood didn't mean a thing when the feds came knocking. Still, some folks are out here twisting themselves into knots trying to defend Big Meech's name. And right on cue, young Buck jumped into the mix, trying to play hero for Meech like it was his last shot at staying relevant. But if there's one thing about 50 Cent, he never gives second chances. His clapback was instant and cold-blooded. He dragged Buck online, clowning him for his messy past and turning the moment into pure comedy. Now, haters are out here calling 50 a culture vulture, accusing him of starting beefs just to hype his own projects. But come on, if you really look at it, who's actually benefiting from all this chaos? Because it sure isn't the Meech camp. Every new headline just keeps making them look guiltier, weaker, and way more exposed. Both sides made serious money off the BMF name. Big Meech's story became a full-blown TV empire, giving his legacy new life for a whole generation that never even knew the real streets behind it. Meanwhile, Lil Meech scored a dream career that wouldn't even exist without 50 Cent putting him in position, paying his dues, and building him into a star. Yet somehow, 50's the one catching heat just for speaking the truth. At its core, this drama ain't about fame or promotion, it's about loyalty. And if there's one thing everyone knows about 50, it's that betrayal doesn't fly with him. He backed the BMF family from day one, turned Lil Meech into more than just Big Meech's son, and kept their legacy alive when no one else was doing it. But the second it got convenient, they flipped. And now, 50's letting it be known there's no coming back from that kind of disloyalty. And believe it or not, Lil Meech is already feeling the burn. After all 50 did for him, the acting school, the exposure, the career boost, he switched up and picked the wrong side. Now karma's spinning back quick. The same Lil Meech who was living like a star on BMF sets is now out here hustling online, begging for paid promos for $500. That's not even rent money, that's gas and lunch money compared to what 50 was cutting him before. 1 minute, he's flying private and living the Hollywood dream. The next, he's chasing side gigs just to survive. And you know 50's sitting somewhere laughing, watching it all unfold, because if there's one thing about 50 Cent, he always gets the last laugh. This isn't just another industry beef anymore, it's a full-blown betrayal saga. Big Meech built an empire on loyalty, but now the same people who carried his name are out here playing both sides, and it's all crashing down in real time. Now with Rick Ross suddenly cozying up to 50 Cent and Lil Meech out here hustling for scraps, it's clear the BMF legacy is falling apart right in front of us. The empire that once ruled the streets is now looking more like a memory than a movement. But what do you think? Did Big Meech do this to himself by turning on his own people? Or is 50 just exposing the truth that everyone else has been too scared to say out loud? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, share this with your people, and don't forget to subscribe. We got more wild stories loading up next. See you on the next one. And it's all crashing down in real time. Now with Rick Ross suddenly cozying up to 50 Cent and Lil Meech out here hustling for scraps, it's clear the BMF legacy is falling apart right in front of us. The empire that once ruled the streets is now looking more like a memory than a movement. But what do you think? Did Big Meech do this to himself by turning on his own people? Or is 50 just exposing the truth that everyone else has been too scared to say out loud? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, share this with your people, and don't forget to subscribe. We got more wild stories loading up next. See you on the next one.